We begin here. The Section 194 committee has recommended that Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane be removed from office. Members have found that charges of misconduct and incompetence have been proven against her. The committee found that misconduct and incompetence were sustained with regard to the Reserve Bank, Vrede, SARS and the CR17 investigations. The draft report of the committee will be sent to Mkhwebane to give her an opportunity to make representations. Now, earlier, the inquiry heard that Mkhwebane's latest attorneys have withdrawn from the proceedings and she is now shopping for new attorneys. Committee chairperson Bulelani also indicated that he had received another recusal application against him by an individual identified as Mr. Erasmus. Yanki has, however, rejected the recusal application, arguing that it raises old issues and it was irrelevant. All right, now let's get an update. We are now joined by our reporter, Bulelani Phillip. Bulelani, thank you so much for your time. A blow then for the suspended public protector. So this decision and meeting comes after the committee found the public protector guilty on all 4 charges of misconduct and incompetence last month. Talk to us then about the latest development.
Well, today it was in consideration of the draft report that will be sent out to suspended public protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. Basically, it summarizes what I can say is an scathing outcome of this inquiry, where she's been found to actually to be incompetent and has conducted misconduct in some of her investigations that you've outlined in your intro. But what's also important is in most of these guilty findings against Mkhwebane is that she's found to be a person who had made quite far-reaching remedial actions and also approached her investigations with a predetermined outcome, and that some of the investigations were flawed. And then the conclusion that is made there is that she applied the wrong principles of law when she was actually undertaking some of these investigations, which some of them have actually been satisfied by the courts of law. So this is a confirmation to the committee that in terms of their investigations, which they've tried to deal with under trying times, is that there is evidence that can support that the Advocate Mkhwebane is both incompetent and also conducted herself in a misconduct manner.
And of course, Bulelani, before the proceedings began this morning, we obviously understood that the Advocate Mkhwebane does not, in fact, have legal representation and that she will be shopping around. What does this mean for her? Of course, she will be also handed the report and will be given a right to reply.
Well, it's quite an interesting one, Inati, because over the past couple of months since May, there has been some, discussions or an impasse over her legal representation. The previous attorneys withdrew from the process, and then she had to appoint the new attorneys, China attorneys, and the person who was representing there was also hospitalized for a period of time, which also caused some delays. But then they came back and started to represent her, but we've now been informed that also China attorneys has withdrawn the legal people for Advocate Mkhwebane. So now the question is whether where is the Advocate Mkhwebane going to find a new lawyer, and whether that person, if appointed, is going to be given enough time to study the record of this committee in order to be able to brief senior counsel, whom we believe it's still Advocate Dalimpofu. So that is a question that is also going to be, lingering in the minds of some of the committee members who are opposed to the removal recommendations that has been made today. But also, again, we've also heard that the EFF is saying that given that displeasure at the unfairness that has been meted out against Mkhwebane, they've now certain that they intend to take that report on legal review. So those are some of the impediments or some of the hurdles that the committee might still have to consider going forward.
We don't want to preempt, of course, the public protector's next move, but we know that she's always maintained that the committee, whatever outcome comes out of it, will be premeditated. So it is possible that she will be taking this under review. What are you hearing?
Look, that's an issue that has been made by her over the past couple of months when she's been making some of the arguments. But that is an allegation that the committee strongly denies, and that was recommitted or reconfirmed again today. They are saying that the decisions that they've come to are based on the evidence that has been led before the committee, as well as some of the other findings that have been made by the courts. But of course, what we've seen, throughout this entire process is that when Advocate Mkhwebane is not satisfied with some of the decisions of the committee, she does consider taking these matters to court. And also, what she has been relying on over the years in relation to the issue of legal representation is that she's saying, according to a constitutional court ruling that has been made, is that she's entitled to a legal representative of her choice. And at this stage, given that she's still shopping for new attorneys, she would say that she would find it difficult to actually be considering or making a right of reply to this draft report, because she needs to actually get an attorney on the side and enroll that attorney formally before that attorney can begin to assist her legally. So we'll have to see what's her next move. But the committee says that it will give her the right of reply, and if she doesn't reply within the stipulated time, it will then consider her as not met that demand, and therefore they will begin to make a final recommendation that will then be taken to the National Assembly for approval.
Bulelani, as we wrap our conversation, of course, this inquiry was not smooth sailing. I mean, it has been marred by several, obstacles along the way. Even now, the chairperson, Kubutile Gyangi, indicating that there was another application to recuse himself, that application from an unknown gentleman or an individual identified only as Mr. Erasmus. What can you tell us around that?
Well, you'll remember that not so long ago, Advocate Mkhwebane did launch her own recusal application, which was a second one, following the allegations that, Kubutile Gyangi was trying to collapse the committee, and therefore he was demanding some monies for the committee to go away. But that's an allegation that he has strongly denied, and of course, even in his ruling, he said that he would not be recusing himself. So it was quite a surprise again that a member of the public also saw it fit that he also launched his own recusal application. We've been told that it's one Mr. Erasmus, but we've since learned that his name is actually Advocate Winston Erasmus. So, but that application again was not considered by the committee and the chairperson. In fact, it was rejected as being irrelevant.
All right, Bulelani, thank you so much for that update. Bulelani Phillip coming to us live there from Cape Town. Of course, the Section 194 committee has recommended that Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane be removed from office. Of course, we'll continue to give you more reaction on that. But let's continue here for now